Hello.
Now we're recording. Cool. First thing I wanted to ask you, because I've discovered this wonderful thing, which is, and I'm guessing you might be able to help me. So a friend of mine, he's super good at technology. Yeah, go.
Did you get the job?
Yes, I got the job.
Oh,
Yes, I got the job.
congratulations.
Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't tell you that. First off,
Hello.
I'm literally, okay, we'll start with that then, because this is like the best thing ever, okay?
Okay.
So we had our first emotional resilient team meeting yesterday. So there's 5 of us in this team, and that includes like the 2 bosses and founders as well, mind you. So we're called the emotional resilient team. I literally said to them, we're all on video, the 5 of us. I was like, guys, my face is going to break from smiling so much. Like, I'm so happy.
You do look very happy.
And I was like, every time they were talking, because we're all on video, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And everyone was just like, it's quite infectious. And I'm like, guys, this is awesome. Yeah. So we're having this meeting, and let me think. So the first webinar that's going out, like it's a free public thing, yeah, will be held next Wednesday, and we'll obviously be a part of it. So how they've decided to do it, because it's we're talking the very beginning, like this company was like started in 2020, but this is the legit first webinar. No workshops have been done. Like, I'm in it from the start. Like, I'm one of this team of us is brand spanking new, right?
Yes.
It is so
The word
freaking.
you're looking for is groundbreaking.
It is. What did you say? It is or it isn't groundbreaking?
It is.
It is. That's what I thought, because it's honestly because the company I'm with is coming in at a preventative level to help people not get to the point where they need to come and see the professionals, so to speak. Yeah.
Wait, are you trying to put me out of a job?
I hope not, because I want your
Should I
job.
be supportive of this? No, joking. Yeah. I am supportive.
I think this is going to make such a massive difference for my schooling too. Like, I've already, I must admit, I woke up at like 11:45 this morning, and I was like, how did that happen? But then I remembered I made dinner at like 10:30 last night, so that's probably why, because I was at my desk all day yesterday. Anyway, so we're having this
We have to
meeting.
talk about boundaries about that. Okay.
Boundaries. I literally just am writing about it for work. Establishing boundaries is very important. It's literally on my page.
Okay. Well.
So anyway, it was freaking awesome, and they don't want to overwhelm the public, yeah. So the guy in charge is obviously the main presenter, and I'm super proud of myself, because obviously I like to talk. We all know this, yeah. Anyway, they were like, not to overwhelm the public, instead of having all 5 of us talking, we're all going to have our own bio. We're all going to be answering our own agenda, but like in the sense of like we were given an agenda each. My one is the vulnerability, strengths and weaknesses of being vulnerable at work, which, I picked that one. I thought it'd be quite good for that.
I feel like you'll be safe there, yes.
Yeah. Well, I think so. And they were like, we're all going to get turns and whatnot, but just for the start, we should only have like 2 actual main presenters, but at the end of each agenda, they're going to leave time for questions, because I was like, don't leave the questions all the way to the end, because then you'll get people like me constantly interrupting you, asking questions. I was like, because that's who I am, and there are other people like me. So they've done it in a way that, so it'll be like introduction, questions, agenda, questions, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they were like, who wants to be the other presenter?
Let me guess.
Well, that's the thing.
The storyteller?
Yeah, well, obviously. But guess what, though? This is the best part, and I'm actually super fucking proud of myself. Probably along with shocked, if I'm actually honest, because I said I would set this one out. I was like, more than happy to do it. I'm more than happy to do it. I was like, but I'm also happy to set it out, because I figure it's legitimately the very first one. I would kind of like to watch and learn what not to do before it gets to my turn. Almost.
I'm sitting down for that.
Huh?
I'm glad I was sitting down for that.
Crazy, right? Like, no one I know would think that I would say I'm stepping out. I obviously said happy to do it, but I'm also happy to, I mean, in my head, I'm thinking, this is the first one. Like, this is the launch of this company, basically, yeah? And I was like, I know I'm a good storyteller, but I don't want to be put on the frickin' spot. Thankfully, my boss doesn't like being put on the spot either. So I made a bunch of suggestions, which was, we need to think of all the questions we can possibly think of that these people might ask us and have answers ready to go. Because you don't want to be putting us on the spot, so to speak, and then be like, blah, 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 So I already know that I'm just a part of something amazing because, I mean,
So is all of their stuff going to be public events?
No, so this is the free public event for the launch. But then he goes, oh, we've already been invited to Queensland University, blah, blah, blah. And I sort of stopped and I went, wait, what? I'm like, did you say Queensland? And as we're all aware, I ask all the questions that most people think, right? So the first thing I'm like, do you mean virally? Like we're going to do this virtually, a workshop? He goes, no, we're going to be there. And I'm like, wait, what? He goes, yeah, mid-July, we've got to go to Queensland. And I'm like, okay then, like, this is amazing.
What are you going to do in Queensland?
Host a freaking workshop for the Queensland University.
In prevention of mental health.
We're going to be going interstate. We're doing, it's fucking amazing, honestly. Like, they don't know who's going to Queensland yet, and we'll be, figuring it all out, which is, again, another reason I didn't want to be first, because I want to make sure I know what the hell I'm doing. But I guess another thing I feel that works for me is, I've been saying since day dot, I'm a storyteller. And I have absolutely no issues in front of a camera, talking, whatever. But aside from all of that, I think what's going to help me is the fact that I actually don't have a full-time job and I'm trying to work all around this. It's just school and this, which means I'm super flexible, yeah? Which means I'm available to go interstate, which would be fucking amazing. Plus, I'm like the most excited. You should have seen the other four. They're just cracking up. And I'm like, guys, this is exciting. Like, I'm so excited. So my level of enthusiasm is right up here, which is amazing. And I'm just feeling really good. Like, I've already written my bio. When I sent it to my friend in New Zealand, I was like, can you check this out, see what you think before I actually add it to the document? And she's like, reads perfectly. I'm in the process, well, that's what I was doing, working on my agenda, strengths and, vulnerability and whatnot at work, which I'm going to use, information I find that is credible, but I'm going to, incorporate it because, I wrote it down last night, but, when I was a corporate travel consultant, I had to start using a walking stick when I was 23 years old. I mean, that's vulnerable. 23 and unable to walk without a walking stick, that was a hard one. Then I had to go working full-time from home. That, again, was hard because I was judged by everyone thinking, oh, we're all in the office, but she's at home. And because I don't
Before COVID made that fun.
Huh?
Before COVID made work from home.
Yeah, I know, right? But, people don't seem to understand just because I look and sound like I'm completely neurotypical, whatever it is, I'm not. So there was a lot of judgment that happened when I had to start working from home, which obviously then caused a lot of guilt, and it was just this big thing, and I'd been waiting to go into hospital, and when I finally got there, you're finally at the end of the wait list, you're ready to start. Instead of the job holding my job and letting me go part-time like they had said I would when I went on the waiting list, I ended up having to leave because they just wouldn't wouldn't stay true. So I feel like I have enough to write about. Obviously, it's all going into one of those documents that we've all got access to, because I said to them, I'm like, guys, I know we're all doing this our own thing, but we need to check everybody else's to make sure it's all flowing and this and that and slides. And I guess because I'm still in uni and I've just done that certificate, which involved quite a bit of group work, it's I'm straight into focus this and that when I've got, you know what I mean, something to focus on. Though, look at what I've done. What? So we got research methods,
Yes.
another research methods because they're
Why are they
different.
printed out?
Because fuck off, I'm old school, mate.
How many
Right?
trees did you kill in this process?
Hey, these books will be on my bookshelf forever. Yeah.
I know, and you're a very good re-referencer, so I know.
I know, and look, these are literally them all. So I just got to memorize what's in this and on my wall.
Oh, that's the last one's my favorite one, psychopathology.
Yes, but that's what I was going to say to you, right? So everything with work is awesome. I will take away this, but I'll show you. But like I've done it, like all this stuff for work. Yeah, that works better. So yeah, I showed them and they were like, wow, that's intense. I was like, I got my own binder, guys. And they're like, you must really love what you do. And I'm like, I quit smoking ice to get to this point, guys. I would hope I fucking like what I do, you know?
I've done some self-reflection and change.
I know, right? But everything, like, it's fucking weird, right? Because I'm really, really good now. But I spent Easter Sunday afternoon and Monday and Tuesday absolutely in a fucking mess, right? And this is, I guess, what I needed to talk to you about. Though Andrew across the street came and see me today and he's like, we are making a rule and the rule is we don't talk about them people anymore. And I was like, that's a
We don't talk about
what happened, but I'm going to tell you because you're my therapist and then that'll be it, right? So as you remember, I met this woman, I met her husband, they live around the corner, everything was great. They told me, never again will you spend a holiday alone. You're going to be in my life, forever. I can see you as part of the girl groups, drinking wine, blah, blah, blah. Like she talked and talked and talked. And I said to her, look, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm very used to just being dropped, yeah? And she was like, it's never going to happen, blah, 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 right? And people think I'm dumb, and it does my fucking head in. So she had surgery, yeah?
Yes.
And she had her surgery, was in hospital for like however many nights, came home, I saw her, everything was fine. Then she had to go back in for an infection, and that was all around the time I stopped the dog fostering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure I've explained to you.
You don't have that giant husky anymore?
No, it got adopted, but the actual rescue place is, as far as I can tell, and everyone I've spoken to, legitly fucking illegal. Nothing's registered. She is charging $1,500 a puppy. When I went to my vet and said, can you break down all of the costs that it costs to get a dog or a puppy up to scratch to be adopted out, she went through the whole list and she goes, those people are legitimately ripping them off. And not only that, she has so many animals in her house. And this is where it bugs me, because remember I told you my sister-in-law pissed me off because she wouldn't do the right thing? Well, it turns out that it happened to me too, because I'm a fucking vegan for a reason. When I saw these cages, and we're talking 3-4 fucking rooms, mate.
I'm sorry, wait, cages?
Yeah, for cats and kittens. She has 3 rooms in her house full of so many cages, jam-packed with hundreds of cats.
That's not okay.
That's
and
illegal.
Also, yes, it's illegal, but it's also not in the best interest of the fur people.
Exactly. So that's why I needed to talk to you, because I knew all of this straight away, but I wasn't aware of how bad it was until I got the puppies back here and looked at the paperwork. And I sent her a message going, I think something's it's a typo. I'm like, it can't possibly be 1,200. And she goes, oh no, it said 1,500. I was like, I think there's a mistake. Like, dog adoption fees are usually higher than say 600-700 at max. I paid 400 for Boss, yeah.
I mean, when you're fostering them, depending on how long, like I can appreciate that there's an element of wear and tear on your wear and tear on this, and dog food, and walking and stuff.
All of it is all she doesn't pay for nothing. She told me that every bit of the food, every bit of the toys, every bit of the bedding, every single thing is donated to her. But I'm sure I told you, she asked for people to go pick up these damn cats, and I was like, hey, can I get some petrol money, and she's like, no, nothing like that, we don't have money for that. So I want to know where the $1,500 is going. And
to her, it's seemingly.
No shit, it's going to her. She's a single mom who owns her own house, has 2 very fucking expensive cars out the front, right? And is...
So here you are questioning the ethics of, and not just the ethics, but the inhumanity, is that the word?
Yeah, I mean, I don't eat animals for a reason. Seeing them all like that was fucking, honestly, really upsetting.
So let's talk about what you can do about it.
Well, that's the thing. That's what it's at, right? So this is what happened. So all of this happened, and obviously I didn't say anything to Nichelle, right? Because she had her own shit. She's in hospital, blah, blah, blah. Me and Pedro were still talking. Everything was great. We were meeting at the dog park, doing all of that. Now, mind you, this woman has introduced me to so many people, and her mum and everyone. She's done all this stuff, right? Anyway, she was acting weird, right? Like before she came out of hospital. It was very apparent that she was acting like she was doing me a favor by being my friend. And at one point, it would have been like 4 or 5 days ago now, I actually said to her, it really sounds like you're ending our friendship. Like, if that's the case, just tell me, yeah? And she was like, no, nothing like that. Of course not. Just, managing stuff with hospital, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we'll catch up soon, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Gets to Easter. I never know what day to message people on Easter, so I tend to just message Happy Easter non-stop from Friday. Bless you. And so Easter Sunday morning, bless you. Oh, don't apologise. I sent her the Happy Easter, she was like, Happy Easter, totally forgot it was Easter Sunday, we're meant to be seeing the kids, we'll catch up later. So I sent her a message.
It's Easter Sunday.
True. But I sent her a message later on in the afternoon saying, hey, do you want to catch up tomorrow? If you're not up to going to the dog park, maybe do you want to come here for the dogs to have a play and we'll have a coffee? And I get the message. So, hey, Olivia, I've done a lot of thinking and I've realised that I cannot be your friend. I'll send it to, I can't remember exactly. And I wrote back, what? I'm very confused. Like, I asked you if this was something was going on and you told me there wasn't. I was like, I don't believe whatever reason you've just given me. So can you actually tell me the truth? She still didn't tell me the fucking truth, right? Instead, and this is what caused the breakdown, she said you have so much trauma that it's too hard to be someone's friend with the amount of trauma you've got, pretty much. And that broke me in a way, like, who the fuck says that? Now, I don't believe for 1 second it's my trauma, because 1, didn't put a single bit of it on her. 2, I helped their relationship fucking so much. They told me over and over again, it's about the dogs. So the woman running the dog thing is obviously related to that family through her twin, because the twin's married to their kid or whatever. So they all would have got together on Easter, and she would have bitched like motherfucker about me. Instead of Nichelle actually asking anything, she just told me I have too much trauma and she cut me off. Gone, done, end of the friendship. I cried for 2 days, and not because of the loss of the friendship, but for having my fucking trauma thrown in my face. It was disgusting.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few. 1, that's not very nice, and it's not appropriate, and I don't like that, and it sounds like you're probably not a good values match anyway. 2,
100%. Mm-hmm.
Olivia, you can't ask people whether they are, like, whether your friendships are secure.
But I didn't do that.
No
shit, I would never do that. I know that. I don't know why it wasn't me, because I would never say shit like that. I know people come and go. It was the way she carried on.
You gave her the option of being truthful and she didn't take it. Now, there's a lot of reasons why some people may or may not do that. People don't like confrontation. Some people feel insecure or vulnerable when they're having to have difficult conversations.
I know.
Somebody said to me recently, that difficult conversations, are hard for everyone involved. And there is a way to do that to minimize trauma, and this wasn't it, I'm afraid.
So if she had told me the fucking real reason, I would have been like, good fucking riddance, I'm calling the council. The only reason I haven't called the fucking council is because of the friendship.
Well, we're going to get to that part.
Good, because I actually would like some advice about what exactly to do, because I need to do something.
Because at the end of the day, what you're telling me is that there's a series of animals that are in significant distress. Now, I can't tell you to call anyone, but at the same time, I know you well enough to know that this isn't going to sit well with you. You're not going to sleep well as a consequence of this. So I think realistically, you need to inform someone, because whether you feel, this is very much like a child protection issue.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Yes.
If you have a child or an animal, they can't speak up for themselves, and it's not for us to determine whether this is true or untrue, whether this is problematic or not problematic.
Agreed.
We're raising a flag for them to investigate, make an appropriate review of the situation, and they make a determination about whether that warrants investigation or not.
That's what I think, because I don't know 100% whether they're doing something wrong or right. I would 99.9 say they're doing something wrong, because she's living on Centrelink and has all this shit, but also, if they get investigated and it's all well and good, at least I can be at peace. Do you know what I mean? But she literally said to me, because the first thing I ever asked her was, how does the counselling go about with Rego? Because obviously my dog is rigid. My snake's even registered. Like, you have to register your pets. She's got over 50 animals in that house. She run the council. She told me all of this herself and was like, told she had to register every single one of them. So she chose to register none. Absolutely none. As far as the council concerned, she doesn't have them.
You can't register over a certain number of animals.
That's what my neighbour said.
Residential situation. So at the end of the day, like, regardless of whether she's doing anything right or wrong, oops, sorry, you still there?
I'm still here.
Sorry, I think we're pen at the computer.
Oh, goodness.
So regardless of whether she's registered or not, or the paperwork or legalities around it, whatever, but at the end of the day, are these animals being well cared for? Do they have space? Do they have hygiene? Do they have
the cats are in cages like this, mate. She doesn't know any of the names. She has to scan every single one just to figure out what animal's what. But the worst part is she's still bringing in animals from interstate. I spoke to the vet, and the vet was like, she's not at the pet rescue level. She's taking it to hoarding. She's taking more and more and more in that she cannot look after, because the more she takes in, the more fucking money she's getting. Even the vet was like, you need to call someone.
I do think that if you are comfortable to provide the information, the animals will be better off for it. Unfortunately, I'm going to be really honest that if there is, say, 50 cats in a home that are investigated,
they're going to go to the pound more than likely. I know they are.
And go to a pet rescue or a pet rehoming or a pet, whatever.
Agreed.
And at the end of the day, not all of them will be adopted. However, are they in a situation right now where they're living good lives?
No. And my veganness or my humaneness or my whatever ethical thought was that exact thing. And again, I did what I got mad at my sister-in-law for doing, because I didn't do anything about it. And I get that I didn't for that friendship, but I'm so happy this has happened in the sense, because you're right, it doesn't sit with me. And I know they're bitching about me because the randomest thing happened this morning. I've got Samsung, I don't know how iPhones work, but you know how you can apparently like a fucking message on an iPhone? Well, the person that adopted the puppy randomly unliked a message, which was so weird, because then it got sent back to me and it was like, such and such has unliked this message, and I was like, okay, someone's talking about something, because that doesn't even make any sense. I deleted all the messages from everyone.
And why would you be bothered going back into your,
Exactly right. He's actually had to go back in.
And that's fine. It's obviously what they've done. But regardless of whether they're speaking about you or not, I probably, but we have no
evidence.
Will be,
100%. That's why the friendship ended.
Doesn't matter.
I'm past it now. Don't get me wrong. It's the why does it fucking break me. Now, 2 days is better than 2 months for sure, and I'm 100% focusing on that.
We've talked about why. Tell me why.
I've been trying to do the check the facts, and I've been trying to do this, and...
But why does this hurt you?
Well, my biggest trigger is being blamed for something I haven't done, and I guess having the fact that I have trauma thrown in my face.
Let's do the check the facts. Can you think of any assumptions, beliefs, or previous experiences or judgments that might be contributing to your thoughts around this?
Yeah, well, I mean, all the people before me that have left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. X came to mind, obviously. My family came to mind. All the other people came to mind. I have legitimately, I think, well, I've got 4 or 5 friends, which is lovely. Most of them are all online, but that's fine. Andrew comes to see me most days. He's a sweetheart. Thank God, because I say to him, I'm like, you're the only person I see, dude. You know, like, and he goes, oh, that's sad. And I'm like, it's not sad. I think you're awesome. You know, so that's great.
It's not, what? Yeah, that's not sad. It's that he's an important part of your life, and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'm very grateful, and I'm focusing on that, you know. And yesterday, everything that happened with the job, like, thankfully now it's that I'm focused on, you know what I mean? Because like the job stuff is so exciting, and my school notes are all ready. And the one thing well, I don't know if we can come back to it, I guess, but I'm hoping you'll write me a letter for uni saying I need like PDF or e-copies of my textbooks, which I can prove that I've paid for brand new by receipts. It's just that it turns out when I suck at reading and get into the end of stuff. We're aware of that, obviously. But my friend did this magic thing with technology that I didn't understand. And he was able to get my psychopathology textbook online. And now I can, like, connect my phone to my headphones. And I was, like, doing my gardening, doing my housework. And I was listening to the book. It was just being read to me. It was fucking awesome. And I'm, like, if I want to put the book on my computer, because now I can do it on my phone and my computer, and I can read while it's being read out to me.
So you're just learning through alternative sensory means.
I'm doing every single thing I possibly can, but the thing is, I know that my university can provide electronic copies because of...
I thought all the books had it in the front cover. You just type in the code.
We tried to look for it. It was a American thing. It wouldn't work over here. So it was fine because we've got the first one.
Do they have them? How do you know they have them?
I know that they got them at uni because a friend of mine was on disability for her own stuff with migraines, and she had a special setup that she didn't have to buy a single textbook for a single thing. They provided everything to her as an electronic copy. Now, I can only get that with medical paperwork, hence I'm hoping you'll write me a letter. Like I said, I've got the receipts, I've got the textbooks,
I
I've
think
paid for them.
both is not a bad thing, Lydia. I don't disagree.
But the fact that I can actually, like, I was going to say walk my dog and listen to it, that wouldn't happen, he's too hard to walk, but I could take him to the dog park and listen to it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not kidding, everything is looking so, I don't know, like that bullshit happened, and it did happen because I think the biggest lesson is that it has shown me that I did exactly what I got pissed off at my sister-in-law for, and I can see that.
I think that it happened and people have done the wrong thing, or not so much, well, let's be less judgy, not perhaps wrong, but they've done the thing that is not in line with your values, and your friendship is not reciprocated in this way. They're not expressing the values in which you need for a friendship.
No shit.
But at the same time, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the reason it's affected you so much is because of your past experiences, because of your past judgments of yourself, because of a lot of things.
Exactly.
And that's when we check the facts. And now versus when it was 6 months ago, circa.
Yeah.
Now we're in a situation where you can check those facts and you can identify the reasons and you can identify why this might be affecting you much more quickly, and as a consequence you're able to differentiate between thought and truth. So the thought that it's they're rejecting me, that this isn't okay, that I've done something, that blah blah blah, versus the truth of we are not an appropriate fit, that we have different values and different things in friendship that matter. You're able to see that differential much more quickly.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, I did cry for 2 days, but that was it. and yesterday was what, Wednesday. I woke up going, you know what, new day, new me, got work stuff. I'm going to focus on good stuff. Like I said, I saw Andrew this morning. Now at least I get hugs. I've been trying to work out how to ask him for a hug for so long, and then I ended up having this like breakdown on my computer where I was like, I just need a hug, and I was so close to asking the neighbor. And anyway, he watches my videos, so he came over and I was like, can I have a hug? And he's like, yeah. He's such a sweet, he is honestly a sweetheart. Yeah,
Why can't you just ask for what you want? Let's talk about asking for what you need. When you have an appropriate adult consensual friendship reciprocated by adult humans with appropriate values that match you therapeutically and otherwise, and you say, I'm really struggling, what helps me to feel better is a hug, and they're like, you know what, I don't have a problem with physical contact.
That's what he said.
Friendships are reciprocated. If I need a hug, you give me a hug. If you need a hug, I give you a hug.
I just ask him every time now. Kind of goes without saying.
Why not ask? You know, if you need a drink of water, you ask for a drink of water. It's the same.
Yeah, of course. I think, and you're sort of, you're bringing up stuff for me, but in the sense of like, it's this feeling of I'm such a loser. And I think, and that's not even a good word, and I don't know how else to explain it, but like, he's a sweetheart. He's watched all of my stuff. He's done all of that. And when I actually got to the point where like he saw me crying saying I should have just asked, he was like the same thing though. He's like, oh, I saw it on a video a number of weeks ago. I've been trying to work out how to say if you want a hug, and I'm just like,
so how about this? If you need a drink of water, would you ask for a drink of water?
Absolutely.
Okay, what is the difference between a drink of water and emotional connection and support? Realistically, you're feeding a thirst versus feeding an emotional thirst. It's the same.
Because I hadn't thought of it like that, I guess.
I think as long as it's an appropriate relationship in which to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I don't like hugging most people, but my best friend can hug me. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I hear you. See, I'm definitely a hugger, and I always do much better. Like, not yesterday, the day before, he came to check on me because I was in a bad state, yeah, and he gave me a hug, and I literally just cried my fucking eyes out on his shoulder. But by doing so, and I said to him this morning, I was like, that helped me so much. Do you know what I mean?
It does feel a little bit like that could create problems for the relationship too, though. Like, you don't want to leave a wet patch on his shoulder every time.
No. It was one off, and I know that, and I wouldn't do that. You know, I'm not going to. I've said to him.
So then the add-on of, okay, what coping strategies can you utilize that simulate? So let's talk about things like weighted blankets.
I've got one of them. I've actually got two. I should probably bring them out.
They the right weights and the right textures.
All of
that.
Yeah, they're great actually, and I can't believe I hadn't thought of it until you've literally just mentioned it. But no,
I'm on a sensory modulation bandwagon. I'm starting sensory profiles.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. Look, Nicole doing exciting things.
You are. Yes, you are. But yeah, I get that. And like, I've said to him, because I can see when his car's across the road, because even he's like, I know you're getting busy, you're at work, you got school, I don't want to bother you. And I was like, dude, you are literally the only person I see in reality most of the time. But no, we're good.
How about we just reframe that sentence to, it's fine, I really enjoy seeing you.
Yeah, I like that one. That's better. I'll give you that. Okay, much better. But like I said, it did all of that. Like, it was the trauma, the PTSD, having it all thrown in my face. The fact
that's not very nice. To use mental illness against you is just not nice. Yeah, but sometimes,
that's
Olivia,
right.
here's the kicker.
People aren't nice.
People aren't very nice.
But you know what I don't fully understand? Is all of this has happened.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I know. But all of this has happened, and I just don't understand why they don't think I'm going to do something about it. And the only thing I can come up with is everybody thinks that I should be really worried about talking to the police because of weed. And I'm just like, that's really dumb. There's nothing that's going to stop me from dealing with something if I have to. And
why are people going to be worried about you contacting the police? You're not the one on trial for any situation.
Oh, because people just automatically assume. I don't know, everybody I know is fucking afraid of police. I don't get it, truthfully. But, I mean, everything's gone. There's nothing growing. The only shit in my house is the prescribed stuff. So nothing that can be done to retaliate against me, and it's not.
I don't care if there is, sometimes like the same thing. What would happen if it was a child or an animal that needed
Exactly.
protection or support? And even if there was bite back, you would still protect the child.
Absolutely, and you're right. That's exactly right. Like I'm just not sure if I should be calling like the RSPCA or the council first. I don't know which one. I tried to call Pet Rescue, but
I would call. Who would you call?
That's the thing. I'm not totally sure to call.
Because the RSPCA can send out officers to check the welfare of the creatures, which is probably a priority. And the council does things like your pets aren't registered. That's really naughty. So I would probably, I'm sure they also have rangers and all that sort of stuff though too. So, but what I would probably start with the RSPCA because I feel like it's a welfare agency, but I'm being incorrect.
That's what I'm thinking too. So I will try that.
I assume. I actually don't know.
Well, neither, but I did try calling the RSPCA a number of times. I couldn't get through, but I sent an email saying, look, I am trying to get through to someone. I need to talk to someone about the welfare of animals that I've seen, and they were like, call us again. So I guess I'll just keep doing that. But like, to me, like, this is it. Like, I know that
it's cat adoption week. I think you get cats for like $75 this week because they're at capacity. So like,
I might look at that.
Hopefully they're just really busy adopting beautiful little creatures.
I'm actually looking to adopt. I think you know that.
Well, you can look at the RSPCA.
That's what I've been doing.
Right now.
I know, right? That's it.
I think it's RSPCA cat adoption week because they're at cat capacity. So they called it cat capacity. Cat capacity.
I like that. That's cute. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I've talked it out with you. Like now all of that's done and I'm happy. Like I said, we made an agreement this morning. I'm not going to talk about them anymore. I am, now that I've spoken to you, definitely going to do what I know I need to. Because
I think it's what you need to do for your own sanity. You will I know you'll worry about it for...
I am worried about it. We're talking gigantic cat cages, and each row is like 3 rooms. 3 full fucking rooms, mate. Full to the...
So you can do a report animal cruelty on the RSPCA website.
I didn't know that. Let me see.
Hang on. I'm investigating.
Oh, look at you go.
Insufficient food, water, or shelter?
I would say it's just... Because my vet called it animal hoarding. She said that's when people...
You're in factories? Ooh, that's gross. Anyway, you can call the number. So you can report online using their online report tool, or you can call the number on 9224-2222.
9224-922.
No, 9224-2222.
Gotcha, yep. I think that's the one.
Lots of twos.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. So, right at the end, okay, I'm pretty good with where we're all at. There's something I do want to ask you about that's been happening basically my entire life, and I've no idea why I've never actually asked a therapist about it before.
No pressure. Okay.
Seems like a good thing. It might be ADHD, I'm not totally sure, but for as long as I can remember, I'll be like typing something, whatever it might be, and I'll be thinking what I'm typing, and then I'll go back to read it, and I've put in completely different words that aren't meant to be in this sentence. It's like, instead of going something like, oh, I had a nice day today and I took boss to the dog park, it'd be like, oh, I had a nice sun and I took boss to the car park, or whatever, just off the top of my head. Like, completely random words are getting typed that aren't actually matching what I'm thinking. It happens all the time.
I think it does match what you're thinking. So in your brain has gone park to sun to this to that, and then you've written that word instead of park because your brain's going faster than the typing.
That could be what it is.
So when you were a kid, did you struggle with like speech pathology? Did you like stutter, or did you have any kind of like start your sentences again and again and again because your brain's going so fast it can't come out? So you'll be like, and then mom and mom and mom and mom.
Oh, that probably happened, yeah, but...
Or you like do it on repeat and you almost finish the sentence, but then you go back to the beginning of the sentence.
Yeah, I think I still do that now sometimes. Maybe not.
But yeah, it's probably because your brain is processing things at a different rate and a different tangent than is going onto the paper. So I would
That
say
makes
it's about
sense.
being mindful of what you're typing, but that happens to almost everybody. So if
Good
I'm
to know.
doing something and I'm like typing something, and then someone asks me about dinner or whatever, I might type, dinner instead of whatever. Because instead of what I'm doing,
Yeah.
brain's over here. Even though I think my brain's here, it's actually over here.
Yeah, I'm following you. Okay, cool. That makes me feel better.
So I think to do that, it's about being really mindful and slowing it down and rechecking your.
Well, it's funny you say that because I spoke to my doctor at whatever time it was, and she was fine with it. But because I'm like, the other thing I wanted to mention to you is that I'm very easily startled and very jumpy, and I don't know why that's happening.
ADHD usually. Is it a long-term thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a hypersensitivity and well, now I can't remember. I need another cup of coffee.
Fair enough, Dylan. It's all
Yeah.
good. But I know what you're saying. Here's something crazy. The psychiatrist tried telling me.
Hypervigilance, there it is, because my brain needs to work a little bit faster today. It's more I use like 75 times a day. What? Anyway,
You're
that's what
funny.
happens. Hypervigilance to everything. So you hear a startle and you react to the
Yes.
startle, whereas a lot of people won't. You've done your
Oh.
sensory profile before, right? You've done that at some point?
Is that something you've sent me? Sensory profile? Maybe. Maybe
I
it's.
think at one point. So,
You still haven't sent me the book.
Oh, shit. Yes.
Have you sent it to me? I can have it read to me, remember?
Well, it's not a book. It's just a series of worksheets.
Oh, well, either way.
Not a book.
Okay.
There's no book.
Well, am I supposed to Google? Am I supposed to Google Sentry profile, or will you send it to me?
I can send you the questions.
Yeah, but then how do I know what the
answer? Oh, it has to be interpreted by a therapist, obviously. It's a psychological assessment.
Yeah, maybe send it to me. I feel like I've done it before, but I don't know what the answer is. So
Let me just check. I'm sure I did at one point. I sent it to you when ages ago.
I think you may have, but I can't remember if we did anything about it, which doesn't surprise me. But yeah, so I think I've gotten through everything. Like I said, I just really like a letter, but I'm not enrolled into trimester 2. But if you can write me a letter and ask for them to be made available immediately, that would be helpful. There's only 3 books that I need. Everything else I've got. I can send you an email with the titles.
Yeah. I sent it to you a long time, huh?
I can see you're concentrating. I think you have sent it to me. I just don't know that I sent it back.
No, I've sent it to you again.
Thank you.
But don't interpret it like it's. I think it's got the.
I won't try to interpret it.
Leave that bit because I'll talk to you through it.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
Tick the boxes and don't overthink it. It's like one of those ones which is sometimes, rarely, always, whatever.
But this is different to the stigma thing, yeah? Because I had to do the stigma. No, not stigma. Sorry, the fucking. Oh, now I'm having a mental mind blank. I got told that I'm Oh fuck it, I don't remember. I know what I'm trying to say. It was another one of these profile things, and I came out with entitlement as the whatever it was, and that one fucking fucked with me.
Sensation seeking or low registration. Okay. So we can talk about when you do that. We can talk about what kind of tools you can use when that'll help focus. So when you said you're typing and stuff that you really struggle with these things. So what can we do to make this focus? And when you're you've already come up with things like when you're reading, you get easily distracted. So listening and reading, you're using numerous senses to get the same information.
Yeah.
So your brain is kind of working double hard, but using some of that kind of ADHD extra energy.
Yes, good. And I've finally gotten to the point, well, it happened today, where I was like, I got up late, but I was, always, it's just fiddling. I'm guessing an ADHD thing too.
It's just a sensory thing. It's how you focus better. So knowing that there's things that we can do to help.
Awesome. Because I think I'm definitely getting better. The Ritalin is helping, but how I've spent so much of my time beating myself up for sleeping in. But last night I was at my desk working until 10 p.m. and I've been talking to people because, I make these videos every day and people around the world are watching them and commenting, which is fun. And I remember talking to someone in Scotland who's got ADHD and he's like, it's part of being ADHD. I work from home. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm working and I'm just like,
And the
oh,
benefits of having work from home and flexibility in hours and stuff is that, you're just because it's 9 a.m. does not mean that your brain is like, yay, let's do this.
it's not. That's why I have to take
Neither
the
is mine.
stuff.
Do you know how many cups of coffee I drink during appointments? Like a lot. It's really inappropriate. But I do.
No one would know, and I drink a lot too, so you're totally fine. Yeah, I know. I've got like about this much left. It's cold, so I'm gonna make another one when we're
No,
done.
mine too. I haven't.
Oh gosh, I got all your paperwork though, the letters, so at least I know when I've got appointments, so that's good. But
I send you a letter.
I don't know, whoever your receptionist is,
Somebody
because
did.
I was like, someone needs to tell me when they are. Send me the paperwork, because I thought you were changing them, so I don't know. I've got it now, so at
Oh
least
no,
I'm.
I changed one because I'll be away for the first week of May. But we've just canceled that one because you're overbooked
Yeah.
anyway.
That's what I figured, so it's all good. Okay, I feel like I have a plan of attack, which is great. I'm definitely feeling good and focusing. I think having this job is helping me to focus too, funnily enough, because it's making me feel like all the schoolwork I'm doing is for a reason. Like, obviously it's for a reason, but do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I've now had my one bank, so I'll have my second one on the 2nd of May.
I know, and then they released the details about how you can,
Right, how you can what? Get away with it.
What? No. So you can, they're getting rid of the vaccination requirements
Not
for
for
access.
the health or everything.
Oh, maybe just everything
I
else.
think
but
it was,
health.
yeah, I read it for like the restaurants and the clubs and the movies, and that's all well and good, but when I said to my boss, I was like, look, I wasn't vaccinated due to my own reasons. When you announced the position, I obviously looked into it. He was like, yeah, you definitely need it. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you will in health for sure. Yeah. They'll have to, yeah.
yeah.
But I don't know. Oh, I'm not up to date with the mask rules. I have no idea.
You still have to wear them in the office though, don't you?
Yeah.
I find that confusing because in between the COVID lockdowns, we didn't have to. It's super weird.
No, yeah. So we've had to wear masks in office for since this whole thing's happened. It's just the level of mask has changed over time, and the glasses and the face shields or the whatever else is that you have, full head to toe PPE if we want.
Yeah.
But yes, masks are still a thing. I don't know because I genuinely just don't watch the news.
Oh, me
What
neither.
the latest is about what happens with health from Friday. I think, the masks are getting a bit challenging
Yeah.
for therapeutic settings, I'll be really honest. They get sloppy when people cry,
Yeah. I mean, obviously you knew how I feel about the vaccines, but it was because of whatever the feeling I was. Like, I've had it now. I absolutely reckon it made me depressed for 3 days because it
you
wasn't.
can always access, healthcare so you can wear the masks, but I see a lot less of your face when you're wearing a mask than I do right now.
And I filmed this. So until the masks are done, obviously I'll be keeping here because as soon as I'm allowed back in there without masks, I'll just have this in front of me, facing me.
Exciting.
I know, but you're so good at your job. Yeah, you should think of it as a compliment. You know,
Yes.
I watch the videos back
There are
so often.
different days.
I learn heaps because you know what I'm like, concentration. Sometimes I have to go back and watch them and I'm like, oh, that's right, let's practice that. And that's good, it's helping. So I'm very happy, very glad. Let's just check this thing. Wait, you're away when?
First till the 6th of May. First
Today-
to the 5th, or whatever that week is. First, second, whatever Monday is.
What's today? Today's
21st
the
of
21st.
April.
Oh, yeah. So you're
So
away.
technically-
I'll see you on the 19th of May. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very grateful. Thank you for helping me figure out this thing because, I mean, it just, the pet stuff hasn't been sitting with me like
I think you're going to need to
all.
do something because you have to sleep at night.
I'm
As
going
a
to do
human being
something
and a
as
person,
soon
you have
as.
to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do something as soon as we finish, truthfully, because I've wanted to, and my friends are like, you have to, especially my friend in New Zealand. She's like, make the call. You know you have to make the call. And I'm just like, I do.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do, and yet
Not hard at all now that I've been told I have too much trauma to be somebody's friend. That's a horrible fucking thing to say to anyone. The only thing is, though, and this is, I did write it in the email, and I know you haven't read it, but my catastrophe bullshit, that kind of fucks with me a little bit. I will say It's not good. But so the whole time that we were friends, her husband and I had been talking and seeing each other with the dogs while she was in hospital. Right now, I noticed immediately upon seeing them together that she talks to her husband like dirt. Every single word that comes out of her mouth to him is disgusting. Just the tone, the way she does it, the whole lot. And I talked to him about it, and I was like, he's like, oh my God, so you see it too? I'm like, how could someone not see it? It's so bad. He goes, can you please tell her? Can you please tell her? And I was like, I'm not saying anything until I figure out a nicer way to do it. Because I'm always the person happy to tell someone something, but, you know, I'm trying to grow and evolve, and I wanted to be nice about how I did it. And he had asked me over and over and over and over again. And anyway, so when the whole bullshit went down, I got cranky and I messaged her saying something along the lines of, you are the worst person, one of the worst people I've ever actually met. And if you want your relationship to get better, stop talking to your husband like dirt. And then I said, don't reply because you're blocked on everything. Which
Okay.
isn't the end of the world, but I
Oh,
feel...
it's not the end of the world. And at the end of the day, she's not going to listen to you anyway.
Of course she's not, but it's like, I don't know,
No,
it's made me feel
unless
bad.
both of them want to change it.
Oh, I know, but I guess it was just me feeling bad because, like I said, I need to get from that shit to this shit without the fucking bullshit in between. But I still feel like I'm getting there, right? Because
let's leave. So as long as he's not in an abusive relationship, then
I'm not thinking about them guys ever again.
We'll just let them do their shit, and you just focus on your shit.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's my catastrophizing that makes me freak out. Like, oh my God! But you know, I shouldn't have done it, and I've learned a lesson. And
well, nah, don't worry about it. Like, it doesn't matter that you did it. I don't think you necessarily shouldn't have done it because if you feel like you need to say something about someone's behavior, then you do.
I wanted to say it since day dot.
You know, could it have changed? Sure, but you know, there's no love lost. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Okay, I feel so much better. Oh, I'm so good. Well, I'm not seeing you again until after your holiday, so I hope you have a fantastic one.
Thanks.
Where are you going again? Interstate or somewhere else?
Land. I know I'm in that like Russian roulette period between now and when we get on the plane where I'm like, no one get COVID, no one get COVID.
I know, don't worry, I'll be praying for you too. Just, you know, it's all good. Yeah. You're funny. Thank you so much. Obviously, eventually you may see my email, but don't worry about it. I'm just going to send you one with the titles of the books and the units if you can write me a letter. And like I said, I kind of need them before they start. If you can put that into the letter.
When do they start again?
Well, my units start in July, but I've got everything because I've been enrolled in them all, and I've.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Just do the letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll write you what I need in it. That's awesome. Okay, thank you, darling. It was good to see your beautiful face.
Nice to see you always.
And
take care of you.
I will see you after your holiday. Have a great one.
Okay, bye.
I will. Bye.